What's up, y'all? The NBA season is back, and while teams continue to find their footing, our partners over at FANATICS Sportsbook are already running championship plays. Bet with FANATICS and earn up to 10% FANCASH on your bets, win or lose. So even if your bet misses, you're still scoring FANCASH, which you can use on NBA gear, tickets, and exclusive FANATICS events. And with fair play, if your player goes down injured in the first half, your bet stays live. Make the switch and get more ways to win with FANATICS Sportsbook. Winning, it's different here.
Been that long? You want to try that again outside after school, you punk? After school, just me, be out of school. After school, just me, be out of school. After school.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of KFS After School. The bell is rang. The time to put away the books is ahead of us, and now we're getting ready for what's after the after. I'm Jeff. That is Sean. You are amazing. We are here to talk about the Knicks, the week that was, and the week that is to be. And Sean, there's a lot more drama around the NBA and the team than I thought that was going to happen this week. I thought it was going to be a pretty slow week, but apparently life had other options and other plans for us.
Listen, they say man plans and God laughs, and there's never a dull week in the NBA, especially within the New York Knicks world. Since we last got together, because we missed last week for Thanksgiving, and let me be among the last to hope that you had a happy and healthy Thanksgiving, all of you out there. But yeah, since we last spoke, some things happened. There have been some developments, including a player who has begun to make waves again.
Yes. Oh, so where do you want to start? I know we're giving out our mid-semester grades. Do we want to get into the news before that, or do you want to jump right in?
All right, listen. I don't have all day. You don't have all day. So I'm going to take out my phone. Now we're going to spend 5 minutes talking about the news. We're going to talk about, all right, let's talk about the Toronto game. Let's talk about Boston and Charlotte. But then a certain player in the Midwest went full bow wow and went boop. And here we are. So I'm setting the clock 5 minutes to talk about this starting now. So, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, okay, first of all, I believe he deleted all his stuff off of social media. That had been happened already, because it's not like, unless there are people that are literally checking players' social media.
There are people who are like, there are people who are just like hawks about it. Like, they don't have no real lives. Like, that's their thing to like develop. Once there's inkling that you want out, they will check your IG every day. They'll check who you follow, who you unfollow. It's elite stalker behavior. You know what I mean?
As a wise woman once said, ain't nobody got time for that, but whatever. All right. And then Shams dropped the bomb yesterday that the Giannis and his agent have begun discussions with the Milwaukee Bucks about his future, possibly including maybe playing somewhere else. So, of course, everyone started getting their fake trades together and their takes and, give up everything for Giannis, or we don't need him, or yada, yada, yada. The Photoshops have been going around. Although I want to give a shout out to Lakers fans, because I have not seen any Giannis Photoshops in purple and gold yet. But usually, no, they lead the league in purple. They lead the league in Photoshops every player. But the way they'll tell you it's not them. And then during last night's Knicks game, Giannis goes down with a non-contact injury. And obviously, in today's day and age, we all fear the worst. It seems like it's a calf strain. It's been reported as 2 to 4. He'll be out for 2 to 4 weeks. So, shout out to all the people that thought he was faking it yesterday. You guys are clowns. But listen, let's talk about the Knicks. Look, John said this the other day. It makes more sense if a Giannis to the Knicks trade will happen. It will be more beneficial for the Knicks to do it in the summer. If he did it now, if such a trade would have happened now, it will be the Bucks do Giannis a solid, and why the hell the Bucks do Giannis a solid, and also it also require for Giannis to go full James Harden and just strong arm the Ting, and I don't think he's gonna strong arm the Ting.
Yeah, I agree. It's not happening. If he goes to the Knicks, if it were to ever happen, it's not happening in midseason. They just don't have the assets. And the way that the front office has moved over the past few years, they'd rather execute major trades in the offseason where you could have an expanded roster, you get your next year's picks activated. So I don't think that's going to happen. And if he goes somewhere else, then he goes somewhere else. That's really what it is at this point. I think folks have to learn from what happened with the Melo trade and with other trades that we've seen throughout the course of the NBA, right? Like, shoot, Melo himself has told you he didn't want all them people traded for him because what is he going to do once he gets here, right? So some of the trade ideas and the trade machines that I've seen, it makes absolutely no sense. And I'll tell you why, Sean. The amount that the Knicks would have to give up in order to get Giannis is actively dismantling a team who, at its core, worst case, is a conference finals team. Real talk, worst case is a conference finals team. And if everything breaks the way you think it's supposed to, they have a clear path with the team that they have. For the idea and the chance to go further with Giannis, there was one trade I saw that pretty much imported half of the Bucks roster onto the Knicks. So the Knicks would become the Bucks minus a few other additions. And I don't understand what sense that makes. Just to say that you're going to have Giannis and Brunson on the team, it just doesn't make sense to me. It seems imprudent. It seems antithetical to what the front office has done and has operated over the course of this time. So, listen, I was one of the first people who had the Giannis agendas going 2 years ago. I was on it before it was hot. Before Cat, I was on the Giannis agenda. Now I'm like, if it happens, it's got to happen after this season because there's too much in place and too much of a foundation for them to squander it off of a rash move. You're on mute.
We have 6 seconds left, so I'm going to say this. Actually, we're out of time, but I'll say this. To all those, listen, like you said it yourself. The reason why Giannis wants out is because he doesn't think this team is good enough to win a championship. Why would you then trade everything for him to be in the same position in New York that he's in Milwaukee? Like, if you're saying trade everything for Giannis, I don't care. Quite frankly, you don't understand ball. Period.
At all.
All right, 5 minutes. We got it done. All right, let's spend. We're on a tight schedule. We're going to try and end this at 2:00 Eastern. So we have 37 minutes left. Let's spend 7 minutes on the games the last week. So Knicks played the Toronto Raptors on Sunday. That was a W. They played the Boston Celtics. That was an L. And they played the unserious Hornets last night, which was an L. We'll get to the unserious Hornets in a minute. But Jeff, any thoughts on the Knicks going 2-1 so far? And if you want to actually, and funny, the week before that they were 4-0. So they've won 7 of their last 8. And especially with basically everyone in the Eastern Conference losing yesterday, the Knicks are 2.5 games behind the first place Detroit Pistons in the Eastern Conference. So Jeff, your thoughts on the Knicks basically last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think you're seeing a team that's gelling well despite the injuries. They've over the course of that time, they've still maintained a good offensive rating while being better on the defensive end. And, it helps when you're playing bottom level teams in that span. I think the Boston game was a good litmus test for what type of team they want to be. Mm-hmm. and how they want to approach getting punched in the mouth. Because the Celtics had the emotional momentum, the mental momentum, and the motivation to blow the Knicks out of the water based on what happened in the playoffs last year. Mm-hmm. And the Knicks showed that they have a certain level of resilience where, and maybe it's just the TD Jakes Garden, who knows? But they showed a level of resilience to where they were able to come back. It would have been easier. We've had this conversation over and over and over again about, is this team a team that'll let go of rope? I think this is a business decision team.
Yes.
Games like Orlando and those super physical teams, they're literally and physically whooping your ass. You're not getting fouls. You're not playing all that well, and it's a blowout. And you got players that are getting injured. You're like, yo, we'll live to fight another day.
Yes.
Teams
absolutely.
like the Celtics, I think that a lot of these players, Bridges among all of them, have adopted the New York-Boston rivalry and was like, yo, we not losing. Mm-hmm. And we gonna come back again. And to think that Bridges went nuclear, Cat was solid in the fourth, solid throughout majority of the game, but was solid in the fourth. Save Katniss. And Brunson had a horrible game. Probably the worst game I've seen in a Knicks jersey for him. And they still only lost by single digits, where really that 1.5 quarters took them out. I think it bodes well. I think that you're seeing a lot of great, good habits being built. I think they're still continuing to learn, and they're using the regular season the way we thought they were going to use it. So I'm cool with it. What did you think?
So you and I and me and John have gone back and forth between this let go of the rope thing. I've said that they let go of the rope. Yesterday during the watch along, I said maybe they don't let go of the rope, but they're more, I forget what the term that I've used. It was, but I think the term you used about business decision, they're like, you know what? We ain't got it today. We'll live to fight another day. We'll get them next time. I forget what the term I used, but it's not letting go of the rope, but they will at the first opportunity be like, you know what? Whatever.
Like picking and choosing their battles, right?
Yes.
It's like Cobra Commander, bro. Retreat. He was never shy about at the end of them 30 minutes of G.I. Joe, that man would retreat. He's like, eventually I gotta get these motherfuckers. But if it's 25 minutes into this cartoon and we lose it, yo, we're out of here. What are you talking about? Retreat.
Yeah, exactly. So, listen, good win against Toronto. Everyone, because a lot of people blowing smoke up their rear ends and thinking like, oh, Toronto might be for real, whatever. Yes, they were off back to back. Yes, they went to overtime against the Hornets, the same Hornets that we have put into a spliff twice in 7 days. But hey, a good win. The Boston game, I think was disappointed about the Boston games. They started off so well, and then the second quarter they just became unserious. That's the term. Like they love to be. They default to being unserious. They love being unserious. Like they love it. They're like, oh, any chance they have to be unserious, they will. Because as we've seen about this team against Boston last year, they will be unserious until it's like, yo, if we're unserious, our season is literally over.
Right.
So let's go ahead and then let's get it done. And then Charlotte, like, listen, Charlotte is not a real basketball team. Listen, I tweeted, you can check out me out at Sean W. I tweeted that because shout out to Christian Winfield, he tweeted that like every year the Hornets 20 games in, they just hit the send button on NBA 2K, and I retweeted it with one of the worst sequences you ever see from a star basketball player in the NBA. What LaMelo Ball did, they had me and Benji asking for Sandman to come and get his ass out of here because it was awful. So yeah, listen, the Knicks, again, people want to act like the sky is falling. Against Boston, it was like, oh my God, it's in the third. And the Knicks right now, and I had this right here in front of me, the Knicks right now are in third place in the Eastern Conference. They're 2.5 back of Detroit. They are a half a game back of the Raptors. They're tied in the loss column with the Raptors. That matters because you can make up wins, you cannot make up losses. So they have the same amount of losses. So at 14-7, third place in the Eastern Conference, and very quietly, the fourth best point differential in the NBA. Listen,
is that with or without the garbage time filter?
I didn't. It's with the garbage time. No, garbage time is included.
Okay.
So that includes. So for example, that includes. So like, for example, OKC, who's literally washing everyone every single night, right? So their point differential is
15.
Whenever I need a screen to load, that's when it takes a sec. All right, 15.3. Rockets second, 11.4. Nuggets 9.1. Knicks 7.2. So they're above certain there's above certain sweetheart teams like the Detroit Pistons, the Orlando Magic, the Toronto Raptors, the Boston Celtics, who are apparently now a finals team again. That's what I saw on the timeline last night. All right. So
restored the feeling.
yeah, and the we back Lakers. So I'm not worried about the Knicks, neither should you.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Like I think the Boston game was annoying because I hate losing to Boston, first off. Hate losing to Boston.
Yes.
And then on top of that, like you said, they started that game like they were going to pack the Celtics up. Like it was about to be a game 6 all over again, right? And then Jaylen Brown said enough is enough. I gotta give him his props. Like, shout out to our guy Chris Winfield, Chris Splash. He said, I had never seen Jaylen Brown act like this before. Like, yo, finals MVP aside, that was a and that's a put your money where your mouth is performance, because after they lost, I think, to the Nets, he was like, yo, you either show up or you don't. Straight up to his team. Like, are we hooping or we not? And he showed up. Derek White shook out of his shooting slump and he hit some shots. I think towards the end, the Knicks just dug themselves too much of a hole and couldn't stop them down the stretch. But to be without Shamit, to be without OG, to get down that far when they could be like, yo, we don't got nothing to prove. We know what the vibes are. And they still did that. I think it's commendable. And all of that with a uncharacteristically horrible JB game from the Cap. So, yeah, I mean, so a lot of teams last night did the Knicks a solid standing wise. So now when you look at it, they're about where I thought they would be 21 games in.
Yeah. So maybe I shouldn't have called him the Beijing King for like a month, and because he wanted revenge.
Although he did go on his streaming show on Twitch talking about it was belt to ass after the game. I was like, come on.
Where were you? Whatever. All right.
It was a timeout at worst. It wasn't we got put on a timeout.
That was not belt to ass. That was cut it out.
It was a timeout.
Mikal Bridges walked in your whatever. All right. Let's give out some grades. So this is we are at the midway point of the season. So last night was game 21 for the New York Knickerbockers. So it's a good time to see where this team is in terms. Let's give them some grades. Let us give them some grades. So I'm going to share my screen and we are going to give out grades in order. And we're going to start. We're going to do the players first, and then we'll do the head coach and the president of basketball operations. And we are going to start. We're going to do this in order of minutes played. So just so you know, the following player, and I cut it off. So the following players will not be ranked, not be graded. That will be Mr. Ev Boolman, Pacome Dadier, Mohamed Diawara, Trey Jemison, and Ariel Hukporti. They did not make the cut because every player up has played at least 9 minutes per game this season. So let us start with where is this thing? Here we go. At the stage. All right. Let us start with Mr. Mikal Bridges. Jeff, what would you give him? A to F. Let's if you want to give pluses and minuses, you can, but whatever.
I hear that.
It's up to you. A to F.
Bridges is an A to me.
All right, say less. Same here.
He if you want to call it a 90 or a 95, depending on what schooling system and what state you was in, it's an A for me, dog. He's averaging like career highs across the board: 3-point percentage, steals, blocks. I want to say. The best field goal percentage in his career. Excuse me. Yeah, man, like this dude right now is putting on. He's really putting on. I don't think you could ask anything more of him, really. Maybe to draw some more free throw. I say draw some more free throw attempts. Go to the hole a little bit more. He's definitely going to the rack more than he has, but he's just not drawing fouls. And that might be something where, that's just not him, and that's fine. But I don't know what else you could have asked Bridges to do. Like at this point, I said it on the timeline. You know who you are. It's time to stop the picks talk.
Yes.
It's a sunk cost, and right now it's looking like a valid cost. So stop the picks talk, man. He's showing and proving. He's also showing that, hey, sometimes leadership could put you in the wrong positions to win. And you end up losing. You're not maximized to your full potential. And when someone else is able to place you in the best possible position for your team to succeed, you flourish. So, given all of that, yeah, Bridges is an A for me, though.
Same for me. You said everything I said. We can move on.
Right.
Next.
You go with Brunson.
Brunson. I will give the captain a B+. B+ is not bad. Why is it not an A? So I'm not gonna overrate the Boston game because he's just so like, listen, sometimes he just missed shots. Like there were times like middies he was hitting last night, not middies, floaters he was hitting last night against Charlotte. He was taking those same floaters and not hitting them against Boston. But there's been a couple of games where his process was just bad. Like that the second Orlando game, it was like sometimes JB has a little bit of the point to prove, and sometimes, and even like last night, like Cat was cooking, and we'll get to Cat. Cat was cooking these dudes, and it should have been JB's responsibility to get him the ball. Get him the ball. And there were a couple possessions where we were like, JB, what are you doing? But that's literally the sound of me nitpicking. So I'm giving him a B+. What say you?
Yeah, this is gonna be boring so far. I agree with you. You know what? Because I'm judging him on the Brunson scale, which means it can be a little bit more difficult. So I'm trying to be more egalitarian about it, like and super fair. So I think he started off slow and then he got into his bag. I also think we take this dude for granted. We still do. Like these 30-point games, he was
I don't speak for yourself. I don't. I'm shocked.
Oh no, I don't. I'm singing in the royal we, like all as a fan base in general. Or I won't say for granted. It's become, that's probably the wrong choice of words. It's become so normalized.
Yes.
That we don't marvel at what he does anymore. Like if he ends up on more Michael Jordan graphics for the playoffs, it's the standard now. Mm-hmm. And for him being the standard, I will give him a B+. I know that some of his numbers are lower than normal, but I also know that he's been more giving. He's dribbling less. He is distributing more. So given all of that, I know that there's an adjustment. And I think that also he missed 4 games? 2 games?
Yeah, 2 or 3.
2 or 3 games, right? So given all of that, I think you're gonna see his numbers progress to the mean. So I'm leaving room for him to be a better playmaker. That's where I want to see the biggest jump for him. Yeah. I know he could do everything else. The playmaking is a problem because I know how it is with him, and we are accustomed to Brunson when he gets in those moods where he's like, yo, I'm scoring. This is bullshit. I can't be missing all of this stuff. I got to make an impact. And that hurts the team. That's what happened in Boston. Mm-hmm. Like, yo, honestly, if it wasn't McCall or Cat, no one else should have been shooting down that stretch. And there were times where he called his own number and turned it over or missed. And it's like, I can't be mad at you because we've seen you hit those shots before, but this is the next level he has to get as a playmaker in order to further elevate their ceiling.
Agreed 100%. Next, Karl Anthony Towns, you're first. Jeff is like, now we might have some disagreement here. I think we'll have our first minor disagreement.
You know what? Nah, man, I'm gonna say B-. All
right.
I'm gonna say B-. I think that his shooting has been off. I mean, I don't think I know. His shooting has been off. I think that's going to progress to the mean.
Yes.
In terms of doing cat dumb stuff, he's pretty much on par. He hasn't done more. Cat stupid fouling. Cat getting control. He's complaining more to the refs, which I think is shocking to me. But at the same time, and I'll say it again, this dude be getting destroyed, bro. Like, objectively, you gotta watch how he's being officiated. I understand, but at some point, you gotta say, I'm not gonna complain anymore. I just gotta play, because complaining is probably making the refs more agitated, and they definitely won't call for you. So that's the next level of psychology. If someone got to explain it to him, and then it's gotta stick. The defense, I think, has been marginally better than last year so far from this 20 games. I think he just got to make more shots, and I would love for him to eliminate more of them dumb plays. And yeah, so I'm gonna go. I was vacillating between C+, B-. I'm gonna give him the B-.
So we're in lockstep again. I thought you were gonna give him a B or a B+. I'm giving him a B-, simply because, to your point, the shooting at the rim, he's in the bottom 10 percentile in the league of qualified players. What, to your point, that's going to regress to the mean. The 3-point shooting is down. That's to regress to the mean. I just think the reason why this is not an A, because he's had some like amazing games, and then he's had some like, oh my God, games. Like, right. I would say, like, and there were allegations that he was what we say in soccer, European soccer, a flat track bully, where like against Charlotte and against Brooklyn he'll run it up on them, but against like the better teams he may not show up as much. But then again, against Miami, the Cup, he showed up. So yeah, I'm gonna say B-. All right, OG Anunoby, I am giving him an A+. This man is clearly the second most important player on this team. And I don't think it's close. Not the second best, but the way this team is constructed and what his job is, and the job and the roles of each player on the team. Listen, this team will not win shit without OG Anunoby. And he has answered the call from day one. The only thing he has done wrong is pull a hamstring. A+.
I love that. I'm gonna say A. The only reason why is the plus is he before he popped he strained his Achilles.
Hamstring.
It seemed like his shooting was starting to cool off a bit. But this is just me knitting picks, and we've had too many grades the same. Because at first I was going to go incomplete, but I think that wouldn't be fair to him because he's played enough. He's missed a few games, but he's played enough. He's one of the reasons why I'm telling people kind of hold the brakes on all this Giannis talk. I'm sorry, you need those type of guys.
Yes.
The guys that'll get in the mud, that'll play on physical defense, who can guard anybody. Jaylen Brown does not go pollo loco if OG's on that court. And if he does, you tip your cap because you know he's really earning it. Yeah, I agree with you. Second most important. I feel like you can make an argument for most important. You can make an argument because, listen, he allows your team to do so much offensively and defensively, more so defensively, that type of versatility, I think, is severely underrated. Look at what the Hounds of Justice in Oklahoma City are doing to teams on a nightly basis. There's like multiple. They're like collective Anunoby. They are the Anunoby force over there, okay? Like, that gives you a sense of what he can do. So, yeah, I'm gonna go A.
All right. Now to one of the more polarizing players on the roster in Knicks Twitter, Josh Hart. What say you?
You want to talk about submitting the final and or the midterm carrying what you did for like the rest of the season, or the rest of the semester, I'ma say, oh man,
I already have a grade. I want to see what. Let's see if we have.
I'ma say B.
Here. Okay.
I'ma say B. I think like early on with his injuries and everything like that, I think it was fair. And then a lot of people were acting as if people were wild. Like I wasn't calling him buns like some of the other people was doing. But his early play did make a valid question as to whether or not, yo, fam, do you want to get this surgery? Because your finger looks like a python swallowed a golf ball, right? Like a skinny python swallowed a golf ball. Like it looks crazy. And you're not being effective. And then he got into that starting lineup and the Josh Hart force was sparked anew. And he's just invaluable, man. That dude is just invaluable to your team. I'm going to tell you why I'm going to give him one of the biggest reasons I'm giving him the B. Shoot. You mother. Shoot, bro. Please. Like at this point, the finger must be activating you. Like you get stronger with every piece of pain that you feel. Like he is more accurate. I think he's shooting 42% from 3 for the month of November. Yo, if they're gonna violate you, you can knock that shot down, bro. Just shoot, because the hesitation leads to them stupid turnovers that you asked us to live with. And the compromise was you can't do this in the second half. Get all that stuff out in the first half, even early third, but you can't do it when it matters, because that hesitation is going to severely affect the team. So that's one of the main reasons I'm giving him the B, and for his early start.
I'm giving him a B-. And that's because, to your point, like the midterm is like Josh is definitely
the midterm.
Yes. Josh is the player who started off slow in the semester and then 2 weeks started studying, getting his homework in on time, getting his assignments in on time, and aced the midterm because he's been playing amazing. So that's the reason. So the reason why it's a B- is because, listen, Josh thought he could be on the same type of time this year as he was last year, and he found out quickly that was not going to work. And I have the tweet. It said, there's that video that Steph Bondi posted of him on the bench by himself after the Chicago Bulls game, the first round NBA Cup on Halloween, where he's sitting up by himself with his head down, and he was shooting, I think, 2.9 threes per game, and now he's at 3, and since then he went to 3.8. Like, that's a turning point. So if he had been on this type of time all year, then this is a B+, A-. But we grade the entire first half of the semester, so B-. C+ would have been too harsh. Like,
yeah,
even for me. It would have been for me. Okay. Deuce McBride. I'm going to give Deuce a B+. And he's on the heater, shooting threes. Why is this not an A? There are certain times where I've seen this a few times where, like, Deuce, like, you don't talk about living on turnovers. There's times where Deuce is dribbling and just, like, gets his pocket picked. Like, come on, man. Like, but again, maybe I'm picking nits here. That's fine. I don't think he's been an A. I think he's been an A of late because, again, he's, like, on fire from 3. But if I'm grading the whole season as B+, and listen, again, I'm also looking at this because I'm not grading on a curve. I'm not doing that. It is, in your role, how are you performing in your role? And within his role, he's a B+. Clean up a little bit of turnovers, but I'm overall, like, again, listen, if you're a B+ student, no one's complaining.
Exactly. I'm gonna give him B+ is fair. B+ is fair. I do agree. You kind of swayed me with it because I was gonna say this man has missed time because of personal reasons. He's been sick, and I feel like when he's come, especially as of late, like the last 6 to 8 games, he's been showing out, man. I want to say A, but then them turnovers. There's nobody perfect. It's like, yo, bro, I've seen your handle. You got handle, but sometimes the handle just leaves him. Like, it's like he be dribbling and then it's just he out there looking like me dribbling, right? So it's kind of crazy, but I think other than better decision making, if you're put in that position, like the Miami game comes to mind, I'm not going to knock him for it, but learn from it and get your handle tight. Everything else, he's making a case for being in that starting lineup once OG returns. So all I'm saying. So yeah, B+ seems fair.
This next player I think is going to be interesting where we grade him, and that is Landry Shamet. Jeff.
Yeah, man. I'm not even doing that to Shamet. You got to get an A, bro. This man came in. Hold on 1 second.
No, you're good.
All right. So this man came in. I didn't expect much from him, and he under-promised. This was similar to what you should do in business. He under-promised and over-delivered.
Absolutely.
Under-promised and over-delivered. Like, this guy, I don't think that you could truly have a beef with how Shamet is played. I don't think you can, yo. Like, I think he's definitely over-promised and under-delivered. So I don't have nothing else. I gotta give him an A.
Listen, he's career high in shooting from three at 42%. I think he's actually career high. No, he's shooting 52% from two.
Right.
His career high in effective field goal percentage at 60%. Like, this, I also think this is an A+ because, simply to your point, it's like Benji talks about it all the time. Like, you know who Landry Shamet is, and that's why I'm giving him an A+. He's one of those dudes that fucked around and got really important at work.
For 1,000%.
Yeah, that's
1,000%.
Because how many times this season have we said, "Yo, we had Landry Shamet, we would," like, these are not sentences that anyone would have uttered
right
2 months ago.
Sentences we've never seen created in the history of time. Landry Shamet is too important to lose. And he was on a non-guaranteed deal. Like, it just got guaranteed.
Yes. And
so, yeah.
And also, but more importantly, it's the defense. He is fighting on defense. But you know what it is? It's extreme because he's one of, like, Landry kind of figured out, like, yo, if this don't work for me here, it might be curtains for me as a rotation NBA player. So he's doing all those things. He's shooting well, but he's defending. And listen, we'll get to Mike Brown in a second, but, like, you can see he's rewarding people who play well on both sides of the floor. So again, now me saying A+ and having Brunson B+ doesn't mean that Shamet is better than Brunson. In his role, he is an A+. All right. Now we're about to have things about to get a little more interesting. Jordan Clarkson.
Is this on you?
It's on me. I'm going to give him, it's the holiday season, so I'm going to be nice and give him a C-. And I could have gave him a D. And I don't believe in giving out D+. Like, what's a D+? Like, you get a D. The Landry Shamet roller coaster needs to be at Six Flags Great Adventure next year, because it is like the next time I see, like, here's what it is. Talking about playing a star on your role. His job, he was brought here to create offense off the bench consistently and play make a little bit. Now, here where I give him a bly. It may take some time for him to watch that Utah stink off of him that's been on there for 3 years. That may take some time. So it's an 82-game season. He will hopefully, by the end of the year, by the end of the semester, and by the end of the school year, he will have found that right balance of, like, when to, like, with Clarkson, when it's bad, it looks bad. It looks bad.
Right.
So C- for me.
I'm going to give him a C. I've seen the best of him. I've seen the worst of him. It's a tale of two Clarksons.
Yes.
I think his defense needs to vastly improve. And he cannot be a net negative when he's not hitting shots. Mm-hmm. And I've seen some games where he's locked in defensively, right? So yeah, I'm gonna say C only because I've seen what the best of him can do, and I also see what he could do when he looks highly ineffective. So I definitely ride with a C there.
All right. All right, let's try and rapid fire through these because I know we're running out of time. Oh boy. Mitchell Robinson, it's on you.
I'm a go. Damn. You know what? I'm gonna go C+ because he has been dominant on the offensive glass, especially in limited minutes. And I understand that he's not playing second games of back-to-backs and all that, but his defense does not look like the Mitchell Robinson of old. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just doesn't look like the Mitchell Robinson of old, especially on the defensive end. He's slacking a little bit. So, yeah. I think we know what his ceiling is, but right now it's C+ for me.
I love Mitchell Robinson. He's getting a D.
Wow.
And here's why he's getting a D from me. Mitchell Robinson is on this team he's on this team to defend. He's on his team to rebound the ball offensively. We spoke about his defense. His defense is not where it was, and listen, that may be the injuries, maybe all those lower leg injuries may have caught up to him. He's still one of the better rebounders in the league. Won't take that away from him. Mitch, you can't shoot. What's his number? You cannot shoot 18% from the line. You're on mute. You can't.
Oh
shoot.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was
and the reason why, because I remember we were talking about it in the KFS group chat, and Jonathan said that he doesn't care what he shoots as long as he plays defensive rebounds. And I said, John, teams will hack a Mitchum off the floor if he shoots 17%. Because listen, if he shoots 50%, that's fine. Because guess what? If teams go hack a Mitch and he's shooting 50%, 1 point per possession. Like, you will win games if you get 1 point per possession in the NBA. 17%, you are off. You cannot play.
Exactly.
Because you can't shoot that bad, and you don't create your own shot. You're not it's a D. It's a D. It's a D. If you were hitting 40%, it would be more. It's a D for me. All right. Speaking of D's, Madison Square Garcon.
Oh God, my guy, man.
I don't want to give anybody an F. I'm going to give him a D-. I'm going to give him a D-. I don't want to give anybody an F.
Nah, he did it to himself, bro. He did it to himself. Yeah, Madison Square Garcon, man. Damn, bro. Right now, you're going to have to do some extra assignments. F him, bro.
So, what is it?
I'm giving him an F. I'm giving him an F. I'm sorry. I advocated for him last season. I wanted them to do a deal with the Sixers when the Sixers were in the crater to get him. 87% of your shots are either threes or dunks. And shout out to Benji, who said that he thinks that it's been a change of scheme and he hasn't played as much minutes. And, oh, by the way, you came into training camp as if you were going to challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship in WWE as opposed to play basketball. Like, what are we doing here, bro? Like, I don't know, man. Like, he severely underperformed. Like, when Mohamed Diawara is coming off the bench instead of you as the first option before you, you got some reevaluating to do. Got to do some assignments, some extra credit. I don't want to send you to summer school. I really don't want to send you to summer school. But he's got to be way better, bro. He's got to be way better.
I agree. The fact that he played in Eurobasket and still came in out of shape is mind-boggling to me.
That's another reason why I'm gonna be harsh.
Yeah.
You should not be out of shape after playing in Eurobasket.
Last player, Tyler Kolek. What say you, Jeff?
I'm gonna say B- for what we've seen. I think he's shown flashes. He's a professional. I think he's got to get way better on the defensive end. But when he's on offense, we know what he is. And he's shown it. I think he has a high ceiling in that regard as a playmaker. So, yeah, I say B-. I'm
going to say C+. I think the defense has improved. He's shooting like 28% from three. I believe that like you cannot be a point guard and shoot 28% from three. I'm just gonna double check here. Oh, he's at 29% from three. You cannot be a point guard in today's NBA and shoot 29% from three. He has improved, so that's why this is not a C- or a D+. He has improved. All right, Jeff, I know you got to get out of here, so really quickly, Mike Brown.
B+.
I agree.
And this is a process and results base. I've seen him try a bunch of different things I wanted him to try. I've seen him experiment. He's been good. He's
That's Jeff's daughter. Listen, work from home isn't as easy.
So
as it
yeah,
sounds.
so like I was saying, he's been good more often. Sorry about that. He's been good more often than he hasn't been. And I see the vision more often than not. Everything looks logical. I think he's going to have to figure out how to take people out of the game a little bit quicker when there's blowouts on either direction. Because I see like he's a little hesitant to pull that trigger, and he's got to figure out these rotations. Like he's doing a lot of experimentation, but there's some stuff with the experimentation that I feel like he can improve on. I like the fact that he listens to his staff. That's awesome. So yeah.
I'm gonna go B just for the same reasons you said. He's still figuring things out. The process is still there. There's certain things he's done I don't really agree with, certain things that we love. So I think it's a B, but it's room for improvement.
Yeah,
Finally,
like that, like B+. I think he's in that range. I say he's at 85, depending on what schooling is. Does that count as a B or a B+?
Yeah, word. Last one. I'll throw it to you, Leon Rose.
Pre or post Giannis, right? But I'm gonna give him a B. I think Clarkson has worked out better than Yabusele. But I do think given what he had to work with, they made great moves on the margins, and I don't really have too many complaints. But they're definitely gonna have to figure out this youth movement and who we're going to have as the future young assets of this franchise and who we're prioritizing. That's like the biggest thing to me.
I'm gonna say B- simply because it's still early. This grade can improve, but to your point, like got to get not getting a rotation player from 4 drafts is an issue. It's not the issue, it's not the biggest issue. It's an issue. So Jeff, I know you got to run. I can close out the show. You can run out of here. All right, man. So yeah, so those are the grades. Again, we did not grade the rest of the team. Anyone who played less than 9.7 minutes, which is what Tyler Kolek played, we did not grade him. All right. So those are the grades. We're gonna wrap up real quick. We're gonna go to the social media section of the week. I have a video, but I want Jeff to react to that video. So we're not going to do the social media section of the week. We'll say that for next week. But what we will do is we will induct someone into the Rage Bait, Clickbait, Engage Debate Hall of Fame. So we have a few nominees. So our first nominee is this gentleman. Where is this ass clown? Here we go. And this is Davion M_Muse. Again, ban all Muse accounts except for Knicks Muse because I'm a homer. And he says, Knicks fans victory lapping like we not missing 2 starters on a travel back-to-back. Don't run on the 9th. And he has a square SpongeBob SquarePants gif. I'll say this. So this was after the Knicks gave belt to ass to the Raptors on Sunday night. And the Raptors fans were very chirpy going into that game. They were very chirpy all week. And then they got their asses handed to them. Not their asses handed to them. They got walked down by the Hornets and lost. They're still like, this doesn't matter as long as we beat the Knicks. And then they started copping pleas. Toronto I love the city of Toronto. It's one of my 5 favorite cities in the world. They're low-key one of the 5 worst fan bases in the league. And I say that who also roots for one of the 5 worst fan bases in the league. Difference is, I also root for one of the 5 best fan bases in the league. All right. Next the next nominee is from Christopher Byrne, and he says, Minutes police are on strike. So this is him yesterday after the Hornets game, in which, listen, the guy's been playing a lot more minutes. To Christopher Byrne. Oh, by the way, you won, because this is clearly like engagement bait. Like engagement, rage baiting your own fan base, you always win. I had to do some research on this, because I knew this already, but I had to do some more research. And the research I uncovered was, let me see if I can find this. The Knicks are, I'm going to see if I can pull this up here. This is live broadcast. Ain't nothing like it. I created a, here we go. So the Knicks, for example, Josh Hart is playing 8 less minutes a game last season than he did this year. 8 less. 8 minutes less. Like, and so here's what I'll say. My biggest issue about the minutes thing is that the minutes defenders, the liberal media, will tell me that the minutes do not matter. And if the minutes didn't matter, you would play your players 48. You would have 5 players and you would play them 48 minutes a game. Clearly, no one's doing that. Now, and clearly, none of the liberal media is advocating for this. So there has to be a balance between where you, like, how many minutes you, like, playing your players the most minutes to be effective, but not playing them too much so they're not effective. To the point where Josh Hart said last year, by the end of the season, I was burnt out. So it matters. So this is what I was trying to find out, and I'm gonna see if I can big screen this for everybody. Where did it go? Where did this go? Let me big screen this for everybody. So last season, so for those listening on podcast, I have a picture up of the minutes per game for OG, McCall, Jalen, Josh, McBride, and Towns last season, this season. Last season, it was OG 36.6, McCall 37, Jalen Brunson 35, Josh Hart 37.6, which led the freaking league. Deuce McBride 24.9, Karl-Anthony Towns 35. This season, and this is literally as of through last night's game, OG is playing 31.1, McCall 35, Brunson 34.7, Josh Hart 29.2, Miles McBride 27.6, Karl-Anthony Towns 33.7. Let's go through the differences one by one. OG Anunoby is playing 5 minutes a game less this year than last year. 5.5 minutes a game less. Mikal Bridges, 2 minutes a game less. Jalen Brunson, 1.8 minutes per game less. Josh Hart, 8 minutes a game less. Miles McBride is playing a little under 3 minutes more per game. Karl-Anthony Towns is playing 1.3 minutes less. Now, if you're going to say, oh, look, Miles McBride is playing more minutes, that's what we wanted. That's what we asked for last year. Play him more minutes. He's good. He's a good player. And look what happens when you play him more minutes. Funny, he went from shooting 40% last year to shooting 44%, whatever. So I responded to said person, because he said about the minutes, please. I said, no, we've retired. And he had the nerve to poo-poo the fact that, Brunson and Bridges are only playing 2 minutes per game less. Well, I did some math. 2 minutes per game less, especially for a player like Mikal Bridges, who is very likely going to play 82 games this year. That is 144. I did the math here. That is 164 minutes. He's on pace to play 164 minutes less this year than he did last year. That is the equivalent. If you take his averages this year, and this year he's averaging 35 minutes a game, that is the equivalent of Mikal Bridges playing 4.5 less games this season than he did last year. So when you say 2 minutes a game doesn't matter, I'm here to tell you it matters. And if you tell me it doesn't matter, you're either stupid or you have an agenda. And I don't want to call you stupid because I've never met you, but clearly you have an agenda. So, Chris, welcome. Christopher Byrne, welcome to the Rage Bait, Clickbait, Engagement Bait Hall of Fame. All right. That is our show for today. I forgot to put up the banner. Let me do that now. But that's our show for today. We thank everyone for you. We thank all of you for pulling up and joining us today on KFS After School. Where is the banner? Right there. Guys, we have a voicemail line. So if you have a problem with anything I said, anything that Jeff said, you can leave us a voicemail. The voicemail line is 641-715-3900, extension 660-862. Again, 641-715-3900, extension 660-862. Again, ask us anything you want within reason. It doesn't have to be about basketball. It could be about life. It could be about, excuse me. It could be about life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. There's nothing really, really stupid that will get us canceled, and we will read it on the air. If you agree with us, if you disagree with us, you have a compliment, you want to tell us to go to hell, that's fine. Absolutely. Once again, the number 641-715-3900, extension 660-862. If you like what you're listening to and you're a non-subscriber, please subscribe to the KFS podcast. We're available on all podcast platforms. If you're listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star review. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5 stars. If you're watching this live on YouTube and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you'll be notified when we go live like we did today, or when we have emergency live streams. Like if, for example, there's a specific trade that may or may not happen, you'll be notified. Follow us on all social media channels at Knicks Film School, SKOOL. We're on all of them: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok. And if you'd like more KFS content, you can either sign up to be a patron through our KFS Patreon, where you'll get Benji's Gray Books, you'll get film sessions from Benji and DJ, you'll get extra podcasts from Jonathan Macri, including the mailbag. And if you want even more content, you can sign up for the KFS newsletter that's written by Jonathan Macri, where you'll get a newsletter in your inbox every weekday morning, 5 days a week. So for Jeff, I'm Sean for W. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Knicks Nation, let's ride. And if you're out on your bike tonight, do wear white.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Not available in all states. Terms apply. See the FANATICS Sportsbook app.